Hello, my name is Gill. I'm a London-based chef and restaurateur, and I'm going to show you how to make my version of a kimchi. You know, I'm going to get a whole lot of people saying, that's not kimchi, this is my variation, okay? I'm just covering my back on this one. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk through the ingredients first and the equipment. So the ingredients are going to start off with the fresh stuff first. So I've got some carrot, which has been peeled. I've got kohlrabi, which is basically almost like a a German turnip. I've got some Chinese cabbage. I've got some spring onion, about 4 or 5. I've got some ginger, and I've got 4 cloves of garlic. I've got 1 slightly less hot chili, I don't know what it's called, and I've got some smaller chilies which look a lot spicier. I've got a little bit of salt. I've got some fish sauce. I've got some soy sauce. I've got some star anise. I've got some, okay, I need to be careful how I pronounce this one. Gochujang. Okay, I think that's the right pronunciation. Basically, it's a red chili Korean sort of ketchup. So it's quite sweet, really punchy. If you look inside, it looks exactly like a kind of a thick, dark ketchup. It's amazing. I'm using it on so much stuff now. And I've got a little bit of dried shrimp. Okay, now equipment wise, all you really need is a knife. You don't necessarily need a pestle and mortar. You could use like a knife or something to crush down some spices. I have one, so they're quite handy. I have a scales to weigh my salt, and I have a jar. So first things first, my jar is clean, but I want to sterilize the jar. Okay, so my kettle was recently boiled. I'm just going to bring it back up for a second. And then we're going to sterilize the jar, and then I'm going to talk you through the technique. So to sterilize, just pour in your boiling water. All the way up. And then just close the lid for a little bit. It probably only takes about 2 minutes. So while that's being sterilized, I'm going to talk you through the next steps here. Right, so that's pretty much it. That's the ingredients and that's the equipment we need. So first things first, I'm going to show you my little technique of how to peel ginger. So I just took off the little kind of bits that were sticking out. Someone showed me this a long time ago. Cool way to peel ginger is using a spoon. So you get the spoon like that, and then you just scrape it down. And it's really easy to peel. So that is probably about 15 grams, I'm guessing, 20 grams. But this is a bit like you would sort of peel an orange. Okay, so this is quite crunchy, as I said. It's a little bit like a Tokyo turnip or like a radish, you know. So we're going to chop the spring onion. We're going to chop up the Chinese cabbage, and we're going to grate the ginger and the carrot. Okay. Okay. So we get a large bowl, and we're going to try and just put everything together, and we're going to weigh everything once. So this is just all the vegetables at this stage, okay? Vegetables and garlic. So there's no aroma, there's no herbs or anything that in just here yet. Okay, so that's just bring everything all in. Now, what's really important in vegetable fermentation or any fermentation is salt. Salt helps bring flavor, but also keeps it safe. It's the salt that helps break down the vegetables and protects it as it starts to ferment. Okay, so we're going to weigh this, and I want approximately 2% salt. That's what I go with. So I'm just going to weigh this, and I'm going to show you how to do a quick calculation. Okay, so that is, that's 750 grams. So the entire weight is 750 grams. So I'm using my calculator. So all you do is you go 750 divided by 100 equals whatever that is, multiplied by 2. Equals 15 grams, okay? So I'm going to do 15 grams of salt into my veg mix. Okay, so that's 15 grams going in here. Okay, so now my hands are nice and clean and sterilized. I'm just going to crush all of this together and then leave it. You could put a cover or a cloth over it or something like that, just to keep, you know, any sort of flies away, especially in the summer. And then come back to it every 15 minutes and just do that about 3 or 4 times. You're extracting all of the moisture out of it, and the water that you have in that is really good. Okay, see you in an hour. Okay, welcome back. So that's been about an hour, and the vegetables have broken down there a little bit. Okay, you can see some of the liquid that's come out there just at the very bottom. You can see that. Okay, that's good. We want the water because the whole point of it is we're going to crush this into our jar and try to take out all the oxygen. That's what we want to achieve. Right, so now to get our big flavors in. So I've got our dried shrimp, so that's about 18 grams. So that's going to go in. Remember, that's 2% of the weight that I did. Let's get this one back on. We've got some fish sauce. Again, 2%, so that's about 18 grams. What have I got? 6. Coming up to 18. Really lovely. I love this fish sauce stuff. It's amazing. Okay, that's gonna go in. Soy sauce, 2%. And again, remember, this is quite salty. Trying to get a light soy. If it's a dark soy, it's gonna kill it. It's gonna be too high in salt. A lot of kimchi recipes call for sugar. And I'm improvising here a little bit because I couldn't find the Korean chili flakes which you normally use in this recipe, but I do have this amazing stuff, and this is quite a high percentage of sugar, so I'm not going to put sugar in, and I don't have the chili flakes, hence that's why I use fresh chili, and this is quite high and punchy as well. Okay, so this is the boiling hot water. I'm just going to dip my spoon in so it's nicely sterilized, and then it just helps. I'm going to get a nice heaped tablespoon in there. I want to really just crush it into it. It smells really, really good. If you look at it now, it almost starting to look like a kimchi already. That's nicely mixed through. So it'll probably take about 3 weeks. So I'm going to drain this water out. Next stage is simply just building. Now I can try to use a spoon so it's not as messy. If you're going to do something like this is not going anywhere. We had a kimchi that was in our cellar for over a year. All that does mean is that the vegetable really breaks down, so there's very little texture in the kimchi, but the flavor is just like big, big, big. Honestly, I really wish that you could smell this. It's just so good. It's making me really hungry. If you wanted to make a vegan version of it, just don't put any of the shrimp paste in or the fish sauce. Take that away. Maybe up your spice a little bit or up the soy, and you've got a completely vegan kimchi. You can see the liquid at the bottom of the jar as well. That's really good to see that. Something I didn't show you either is I'm putting in a couple of star anise, which I also got in the Chinese market. They were just there, so I just sort of put them in. Okay, now what's important is I'm going to use a spoon to sort of push right down to take away, kind of push everything. I want to get the air out of that. You see the liquid coming up now? That's really, really good. It's completely covered in the juices. So that is there's no water there. That's just the juices from the vegetables and then just the soy sauce and the fish sauce. Now, well, in the restaurant, we used to make these kind of little, like vac pack water kind of pillowcases. So we used to vac pack a little bit of water to push it down. But I remember doing a demonstration, and somebody said, "Why are you doing that? Why don't you just take like a cabbage leaf and press it down?" So that's what I've got. I stole some red cabbage leaves from our larder, and then you push that down inside, and this will help keep all of the stuff submerged. So you just got the little bit of liquid on top. Get a nice shot of that. Look at the colors on there. It's absolutely beautiful. So what you do then over the course of time, so I'm going to pop this in the cupboard. It doesn't really like sunlight. Any sort of ferment doesn't like sunlight, so I'm just going to pop it on my shelf in here. And then what I'm going to do is just kind of move it around in a few days. It'll start bubbling and start to ferment, which is what we want. It'll probably take about 3 weeks for it to for the acidity to break in, and that's what we want. So, thank you very much. Take care.